Why does this music slap? I was by the seashore when I first saw them. Yeah, I'm recording this for no reason. Hello. A regular looking guest walking back and forth on the sand, as if they were pretending they were on a tightrope. At first I hesitated, not wanting to disturb their odd ritual, until they stumbled on one of their shoes and fell into the water. Oof. Caught off guard, I made my way over to help them up. Got my clothes wet in the process. As they stood, I asked for their name. I accidentally forgot that Guest 1000 can't really talk, per se. So he just looked at me all confused. Quietly, they wrote their name in the sand with slight hesitation. Guest 666. A really unfortunate name. I've heard rumors associated with it, but nothing real. They wrote that even though they looked like the other guests, people barely approached them because of it. Seeing this, I asked if they wanted to hang out, maybe grab a cola or two. Isn't that what happens in the Milestone 1 skin for Noob? Or not Milestone 1, just like default picture, where he's holding a cola. After all, it was a nice day out, and it looked like they could use the company. It made me so happy to see their once flat expression grow into a small grin as they nodded their head. I took their hand as we left the beach, starting our new friendship. Took their holding hands. Yeah. I don't know if that's friendship. At first, we struggled to find any games we both liked. Sixer wasn't too keen on outdoor activities as much as I was. I was okay with it though. We would just hang out over at my place a lot. I even got a cat that resembled Sixer a lot. Her name was Tack. Admittedly not a very good name per se, but we liked it at the time. We spent evenings chatting about all sorts of things. About our lives, our hobbies. Sixer borrowed my notebook so they could form their thoughts more easily. We would talk for hours until we got too tired and slept on the floor. It was fun. At one point, while I was preparing to head to a big party that was coming up, I was surprised by Sixer writing about wanting to come with me. Overjoyed, I gave them a hug, and we drove as fast as we could to the venue. This doesn't sound too much like friendship, especially because of hugging and holding hands and all that stuff. I would do that to my friends. The Iron Cafe was as lively as ever. Folks from all around having the time of their lives as we both entered the scene. I held Sixer's hand gently as I showed her around. Why did it go from they to her? That's weird, but whatever. Getting snacks, I have an idea. Oh. Oh, I didn't know it looked like that. Wow. That's sad. Oh, that's actually sad. I can't even see the whole thing because my graphics. Even if Sixer was a bit uneasy, getting snacks and sodas as we enjoyed the scene. Even if Sixer was a bit uneasy at first. The music was lively, the food was good. It was a nice time. I stayed by her side for most of the night, not wanting to make them feel overwhelmed. By her side, and then them right after. What? I don't know. Even if others were scared or uneasy about Sixer, we ignored it. We shared a couple of Bloxies as my favorite song came on. I had a great time with them. When the music quieted down and the party came to a close, both of us were pretty tired, so I let Sixer drive us back to my place. We slept for a long while that day. It became a regular thing for me to see Sixer at my doorstep almost every other day now. We basically did whatever with most of our time. I got them to try out some of my spare clothes while Sixer taught me a little bit of sign language. Still rusty on it though. Sixer also found some of my old gear from my vast hobbies back in the day. Old dodgeball gear, dusty skateboard, helmets, the works. I got them to try it out and we started hanging out more often. Dodgeball, paintball, skating. We would do all sorts of things whenever we could. It was ecstatic getting to enjoy something with them. Even if I've played some of these before, Sixer held their own with or against me in competitive games. They seemed so relieved they could be someone who isn't that myth. Someone who isn't a hacker or beast. Our bond slowly grew as we continued to play and have all sorts of fun. Laughing, playing, goofing around. Just me and my best friend. Me and Sixer. Sixer and me. But over time, I started to notice their attitude change. Why did it turn, darker in the background? They became more competitive, more agitated whenever she lost. This change worried me a little, as often. This attitude made her lose more often than before. She started to look more disappointed or agitated whenever we headed home after a game. I tried telling them that it was all in good fun, but they remained still. Whenever there was a leaderboard in our hangout sessions, she'd often stare at both me and their own names. Their fists clenched tight. I don't know what they were thinking at the time, but after a particularly heavy loss, she disappeared. I didn't hear from them for a while. The day he came back, they suddenly started to get way better at a lot of things. They, what is happening? They were much faster, stronger than before. I could immediately tell. They looked really happy to be able to catch up to me. We were normally at the top of the leaderboard together. I wanted to be happy for them, but their eyes looked at me whenever they won made me worry. But the way their eyes looked at me whenever they won made me worried. Crimson eyes which stared through me. Over time, that's when I finally realized what was happening to them. They had been relying on what looked like an injector or script this whole time. Its red color bright, as Sixer kept using it. What was once a way to catch up to me became like a necessity to them, like a vice they were unable to part with. It's like a drug. I desperately wanted to say something. Sorry. I desperately wanted to say something, but I didn't want to ruin what we had. It was changing them. That rumor she hated was becoming a reality. Their name caused the leaderboard to glitch or spaz out. And stuff like doors became broken and disintegrated. I wanted to keep her on a low profile, but often failing to do so. In doing so, their reliance grew over time, leading to others noticing. He began to try and hide parts of their body too. Parts of their torso looked like they were made of solidified code. And their right arm had become a dark, glitchy mess. It was horrifying. My best friend had changed in front of me. From a quiet yet kind-hearted friend to someone who couldn't let go of something that was actively hurting them. It felt like something overtook their mind. It was horrible. I should have told him to stop sooner. It's like Spampton. Because he kept on talking on the phone, and then he grew more attached to it, and then eventually went insane, I think. Something like that. I watched a long YouTube video on it. My breaking point was hearing their voice through their device for the first time. Although it was raspy and heavily filtered, they spoke to me. The problem was how badly it had affected Sixer's body. Every word that came out of their mouth caused the visible patches of code to shift and grow. Overwhelmed, I confronted Sixer on the same seashore where I met them. They were there first, staring at the sea. I spoke first. I said it shakily, my fist clenched as I saw them. I called out to them. They had to give it up. They needed to give it up. My voice was clear. I told Sixer about how the script needed to be gone. As it was only worsening their body at this rate. I didn't want to see them like this. That horrible rumor of a violent exporter was becoming real. I feel like those question marks that keep showing up, that might have something to do with an ARG. Like the words that come right after the question mark, or, you know, the thing that it replaces for a little quick second, spells a word. Maybe. I don't know. That horrible rumor of a Violet exploiter was becoming real. Sixer stared at me, shocked. They eventually began closing the distance between us. Hands or claws clenched tightly as they kept their voice steady. Or no, maybe it's only like commas and stuff. I don't know. He tried to explain to me how they desperately needed it, that it helped to form their own name. How undeserving they were of this world. They thought I would be proud. Proud that they have found their own identity without me or the myths. Proud that I could finally talk to them. Hearing all of that, I acted without thinking. I yelled at them as loud as I could. My voice rising as an overwhelming anger took over my entire body. I told them that he was selfish, that her script was killing them. That I couldn't bear to see my best friend hurt like this. I couldn't just let my best friend, the only friend, throw themselves away like this. I didn't want to lose them. I couldn't. But I felt like my words fell on deaf ears as they kept pacing towards me. I kept yelling, tears starting to stream down my eyes. I said that all that fairness didn't matter if they would just end up a horrible mess on the floor when I saw them the next day. That I couldn't bear to lose them like this. Their gaze was cold and horrifying as they looked at me in the eyes. Before I could say anything else, they grabbed me by the shirt, their grip firm, their eyes staring right through me. It was horrifying. I could feel their claws nearly ripping the fabric. At first I had become frozen in place, my body shaking as I was held up high. But my words grew louder with their attempts to talk right back at me. Our constant back and forth drowned out the world around us. I squirmed underneath their grasp, being lifted off the sand as I kept yelling at them to stop, to just let me go. I even began hitting their hand repeatedly as an attempt to break free. But I was only pulled out of it when their fist struck me right in the face. Everything went dark so quickly. Sixer dropped me to the sand as I felt the pain on my face slowly starting to get up as I felt a loud ringing in my ears. I coughed a bit, my face bruised as I looked up at them. Sixer's expression mirrored mine, an expression of shock and regret meshed together. Tears formed in my eyes as I slowly got up from the ground, a voice unsteady. That was it. That was the last straw. I told him to never talk to me again. My voice shaky and cold. At that moment I wanted nothing to do with them. Nothing they said now could change my mind. I stared at him, trying not to choke up as I wept. The ocean tide beginning to pick back up as I walked away, leaving them behind. She yelled at me as I left, but that horrible voice I heard wasn't theirs. The static and noise overtaking what words they said as they tried to get my attention. I didn't turn back. October 1st, 2017. I haven't seen them since that fateful day. Guess 666. My best friend. My one and only. Oh, I can't click. I could finally talk to you, and yet the moment I did, you didn't listen. My words fell on deaf ears. You didn't understand. No, you couldn't understand. That's crazy. Wow. That's crazy. Man, well, I just got a whole lore drop. As soon as I got in, I started recording. Did I get it? Yup. Honestly, I like this skin and that skin. The VIP skin kind of buns. Yeah, I like that one a lot. for no reason at all. The reason I have 1X is because I'm level 94, trying to get him to 100 and stuff. That was a crazy story, though. Bye.